like babies in the womb. Bound. Can't you hear my plea? 'Cause I need somebody, Lord knows. I'm a stranger to my son who wonders why his daddy runs. Yeah. On my way to work in the morning when I don't give a damn. Can't nobody see just who in hell I am. Hemmed in by a suit, yes, or choked up in a tie. Ain't no wonder sometimes near morning I hear my woman cry. She knows her man is a prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? Peace and love. Welcome back to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition podcast. Please pardon pardon our adjustment in today's schedule. Normally, we try to do it every Wednesday at 12 o'clock so we can build up an audience for this particular work. This work is very important because time is running out on our political prisoners. And today's episode, we're focusing on current issues and the importance and the relevance of political prisoners. Me and the brother thought about what's been going on last week. When we talked about Kanye West and the fact that he had a beef with Drake, right? And expressing the solidarity, he chose to write a statement. In that statement, he wanted him and Drake to come together at a concert so that they can raise awareness about Larry Hoover. My name is, by the way, for those who are first viewing this for the first time, my name is Frank Brown. I'm with my brother
Haqq and Frank.
That being said, let us continue to today's current topic for today's podcast. And Larry Hoover, for those who know, is the originator or the founder, rather, of Black Gangster Disciples, and now it's Growth and Development. And with that being said, he has served a number of years while for the alleged crimes that he committed. And I think that at some point, when we look at the system needs to be what it is, called a correctional facility. So if there's a process in which correction is taking place, how long did that process take? Mm-hmm. So we felt it's need to discuss these matters because what's current today is affected, or the political prisoner has input on it. We say Sundiata Okoli, he's currently incarcerated. He's 84 years old, and we're trying to bring him home. And he has some ideas, and he has a history that needs to be respected. The brother's highly intelligent. He's well advanced in a number of categories, and his mind is needed elsewhere than sitting in a correctional facility, a so-called correctional facility. But as he said himself, it's not up to the state to free him. It's for us, advocates for the release of our political prisoners, to do that. We do that by organizing. For those who have been paying attention, yesterday there was a fundraiser by the organizers for Sundiata's release. You can go to their website, Free Sundiata's website, and just Google it, check on Facebook, check the community page, and in a few minutes we'll be forwarding you some information. It'll be on the screen regarding information to get in contact with Sundiata and the people who are involved in that particular work. Abdul Haq.
Peace and love, revolutionary greetings, brothers and sisters. Like Brother Frank said, we are relating our campaign to free political prisoners to current issues in the hood. And last week, we did that by relating this type of work to this crisis of gun violence, us killing one another. You know, this is literally, not metaphorically, a life and death situation. So we should be conscious of the need of people who have expertise in dealing with these young brothers to be out here to give them some leadership, and very, very important to give them some discipline. You know, young brothers are attracted to discipline. They think, they want to be soldiers, and so they're attracted to the idea of having self-discipline, having their life in order, being masters of their own destiny, being masters of themselves, and this is something that the so-called OGs can give to our young brothers. So we're going to continue the discussion we had about Brother Larry Hoover. There are some brothers and sisters who did time, and while doing time, became conscious. This is what happened to Comrade George Jackson, in there for a social crime, but became conscious, became revolutionary while in there. And by the same token, Larry Hoover and Jeff Fort, two brothers who have much, much street credibility, who can have an impact upon the young brothers and sisters that's out here with this madness. They need to be out here so they can do that. Larry Hoover, uh, Larry Hoover has used the initials BGD, Black Gangster Disciples, now Black Growth and Development, and this is spreading throughout the nation, just like Jeff Fort has reached out with love and is organizing in Chicago, and other places around what he is talking about. Like I said last week, his daughter Amina Matthews has put together a movement called the Interrupters, and they go around, and the message that they give is the same message that Larry Hoover is giving, that the solution is love, and we got to stop this self-hate. The oppressor has made us hate one another. So hating one another is what makes us go around killing one another. Hating the lips that you see on your brother, that nose, you understand, that hair, you understand? I want to destroy it and put it in the grave. You understand?
Self-hatred.
Self-hatred. So we got to have some self-love. And this is being preached. This is being taught to our young brothers and sisters. And there's been success in it. Don't think that this stuff is so overwhelming that ain't nothing we can do about it. There has been success. If you go online and look up the Interrupters movie, not just Interrupters, you'll get something about a singing group. You'll see that there has been great success, in Chicago in turning people's lives around. The same thing with Black growth and development. Many people's lives have been turned around by Black growth and development, and this is something Larry Hoover has organized. And I mean, this is reaching way down in the South. I just got a message from Bilal Sunni Ali. He said, "We GD from the feet up." You understand? And so this message is going all over the country. This thing about saving ourselves, this Black love, this life and death call is spreading all over the land. And we have a little video right here that was made by a couple of former Black gangster disciples who are now part of Black growth and development, to share some of the ideas with you. We can't play it all. You contact us, we give you the hookup where you get the whole thing. But it's the brother nicknamed Mighty Mouse and another brother, you understand, they're speaking about love for our young brothers and sisters, and changing their lives around and put positive things in their head, you understand, and get rid of the negativity. Can you put that on, Brother Frank?
Yes, I'm going to get it right now.
Right on. There it is.
By advertising on YouTube, I catch the eye of my ideal customers at the right time.
Folk, me and this dude, like I said, he's been doing this shit way longer than I have, man. And we, like I said, we've known each other 20 years. We're both on the same page, man, as far as getting these guys out of the streets, man, on that growth and development, man, on trying to help these guys succeed and do something other than the negativity that we're doing in the streets, man. You guys are seeing in the Return to Citizen magazine. You see what we're doing out in the hoods now with the scared straights and going back into the schools, talking to the youth, trying to get guys to do something positive for themselves, man, and quit thinking that this stuff is cool out here, man, and getting in trouble, man, and in the hip hop videos and the guns and all that stuff, man. And that's the reason why, really, man, that's really what growth and development is now, man. And he's seen it, man. He like I said, he's been around from the 360 to the 720. He's been around it, so he's watched it go from gangster disciple to growth and development and where it is now. And I try to tell a lot of these guys, man, if you growth and develop, man, and you out here still on that gangster shit, and you still out here doing negativity, man, and you still out here robbing and stealing and just out here killing your own brothers and stuff like that, man, because I've heard how it's going up in Chicago right now. You got G's, listen, man, a lot of different gangs have always been killing each other, man. But now, even up in Chicago, I heard G's are up there killing G's and stuff like that, man. It's insane, man. Listen, man, that's not the way shit's supposed to be, man. Y'all out here killing each other. Y'all out here on this negative vibe stuff, man. That's not where it's at, man. Like I said, we're out here, guns down, gloves up. We out here putting it in. We're putting in that work. And I'm gonna let him introduce himself. He's a success story. He's out here, he's off probation, was in prison, was in jail with me. He'll give you the whole rundown on where he's at and how he made it out here and succeeded. He got a nice house, got a nice family, you know what I'm saying? And he's making it. You know what I mean? So, and I'm gonna let him take it away.
Appreciate you, bro. Hey, peace and love to everybody, man. More or less like Mouse said, man, we've known each other over 20 years. Back when we were wilding out doing things that we just shouldn't have been doing. Just keep it plain and simple. The biggest thing, I don't want to go into everything that we were doing, but what I really want to address is what's going on now. Because it doesn't really matter what you did then. It matters what you're doing now out here in the community and how do you give back, out here. A lot of people think being an OG is turning 25 years old or somebody who did stupid stuff and still out here doing stupid stuff, did time or whatever. That's not an OG to me. An OG is somebody who's willing to come out here and show individuals how they change their lives. Anything else of that is an OD, which I call an old dummy. So, the biggest thing is, man, being out here able to teach these youth something different than what we did or what we were taught back then. Because right now it's all about the youth. It's all about saving their lives. I just lost my son.
I'm sorry to hear about that. I remember that you had said something about on the what's it called on the what's that?
Yeah, I just lost my son on March the 7th. So I know for the youth and the young adults how it is to to lose somebody, and what I'm doing is putting all my energy back into helping individuals. I'm working on a thing called Get Them Out the Streets and Get Them in the Suits, teaching them mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially how to make positive money, how to do positive things and stay focused in the society we live in. Because a lot of this glamour life that we see on TV and all this stuff there, for a lot of these guys, it's not really that. And so you got so many youngins in the rap industry and everything getting killed or spending the rest of their life behind prison before they even get a chance to make a real check. They're doing that because there's nobody, right? They're clout chasing, and there's a lot of the old heads are to the point where they're like, well, that's not my responsibility. Well, it is.
Yeah,
it's our responsibility.
Yeah, there you go, brothers and sisters. So this is a movement that is growing, and wave upon wave is becoming stronger. It's attracting many hearts and minds to save our own lives, to save our youth. Very, very powerful movement, and we need our political prisoners and prisoners of war out here. These brothers that got tall street credibility, have tall respect. You understand? They call them OGs. And these are brothers who have influence on these young brothers and sisters, So we're relating, like I said, we're relating this to our struggle to free our political prisoners. We're going through some hard times right now. We're in a pandemic, and the brother talked about the economic aspect, a lot of the brother, we've been living, all of our people, we've been living in an ocean of poison, a poison culture, a poison economics, which says that rip off. You understand? No matter what you got to do to get some money, you understand? To do it and have no conscience about it. You understand? Competition, dog eat dog, the individual, the law of the jungle. That is the type of economic atmosphere that we are raised in here in the hells of North America, as Dr. Khalid Muhammad called them. You understand? So this has an effect upon the mentality, even to the effect that money becomes a god, and some of our Muslim political prisoners, they can speak on this topic, how money becomes a god, worshiping God, when that becomes the most beautiful thing, the most desired thing, the most ideal thing, you understand, that we can think of, then that becomes that which determines how we organize ourselves. It organizes us. It dictates a law of behavior and thinking when that is your God, you understand? But when you say that there's no God but God, then that puts that in a perspective where money is something that you use to survive, that you don't worship it. You understand? You don't bow down and do anything crazy. You understand? So, like the brother said, they're putting together economic programs. It's very, very critical because, even in, when we have a Black growth and development program, we're going to have some of our people who are like shackled, imprisoned in this old culture, and might want to do some of the old negative things and find it hard to cut loose, So we are talking about being self-employed, as opposed to this type of cutthroat, low life means of earning a livelihood, selling dope, stealing, robbing one another, all these type of things. We're talking about a type of economics, you understand, which can bring us out of this. Kwanzaa is coming up. One of the principles of Kwanzaa is cooperative economics. In cooperative economics, we do what Comrade George said to do: come together and resolve our issues. Come together in love, helping one another. You understand? This has been a successful mode of economics around the world. When people put some socialism in their economics, they come together, you understand, have unity, and so this resolves these beefs we have with one another. So, we have to put on our thinking caps and determine how we can organize this type of cooperative economics, you understand, where we come together as family, not as enemies, but as family, not like a cutthroat existence the corporations have, the corporations, the racist, white supremacists who've gone around the world and committing the most horrible atrocities you can think of, you understand? And sometimes this becomes the model of how you get over. No, that ain't the way to get over. That is the way you kill each other, that you kill one another, that you kill yourself. That ain't the model. The model is to come together with love, all of the people that are struggling to stop this killing, they say that love is the answer. I got some responses from a couple of our political prisoners, Brother Tariq and a brother named Abdul Malik of the Virgin Islands Five. And, the theme over and over again is love is the answer. Brother Abdul Malik of the Virgin Islands Five, he also has done some scholarly research and explains how subliminal suggestions, you understand, that we get in the culture, the music, the movies, you understand, in the news, you understand, even in education, motivates us, you understand, to act in a certain way for ego, for self-pride, you understand, for greed and selfishness. These type of things are appealed to, through the culture, but through a collective type of economics, we appeal to that humanity, that aspects of our humanity that brings forth the best in us, the trustworthiness, the goodness, character, being kind to one another, helping one another. It brings forth these type of things. So this is the type of culture we need to spread. And so, there's ways that we can do this. One way that I can suggest, if you go to closeouts.com, every year, the brand name merch that the stores, have on stock before they get to 2022 stock, they send to factories in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, called closeouts.com, where you can get brand name, high-end, top-of-the-line merch for pennies on the dollar.
That's a great way to start a fundraiser
Yeah.
for political prisoner work
Yeah,
and
yeah,
to
right.
give back to those incarcerated to help them out legally,
Exactly.
because these lawyers cost money, and then when they come home, they need support financially until our political prisoners get on their feet.
So like I said, look up closeouts.com, and it tell you what merch is available. You understand? So we can come together collectively, and get the merch, and at the same time get out there and pump the principle of buy black. Support your own kind. Stop this self-love where you jump over 20 stores owned by black people, you understand, to go to some corporation store who got rich off your exploitation, off of rape, robbery, and slaughter, you understand, and go there and give them your money and build the powerful white supremacy. Your black dollars on Harlem, 125th Street, billions of dollars spent every year, you understand, go to building white supremacy, So we saying that, we come together, with a different paradigm. Sister Tahira would love this, a paradigm shift, talking about collective economics. I want to mention that on 125th Street, I read news that the corporations have sicked the pigs on the vendors. Wow. The brothers and sisters out in the street trying to earn a livelihood. The corporations have sicked the pigs on them. So I'm saying that as an example of what people can do in Harlem and other places around the country, they can give these folks a Black Christmas. They can organize a boycott. You understand? Saying we can't sell, can't none of y'all sell, can't none of y'all make no money. You understand? And this has them folks trembling in their boots. The idea that they're going to have a Black Christmas. And so the message and the organizing goes into manufacturing, having a sales campaign to support your own kind, and making African clothes has a big impact in that. A lot of people, Africa sometimes becomes a fashion statement on our clothes, but to know what's happening in that country. For example, since 1994, there's been 6 million Black people murdered in the Congo over a mineral called coltan. Coltan makes all your electronic devices work. So trillions and trillions of dollars, you understand, are made off of coltan, and they got people who represent different enemy elements that have people murdering one another over this coltan, and corporations are getting filthy rich. So we're saying that in these areas in the hood, 63rd and Cottage Grove in Chicago, 63rd and Halsted in Chicago, 79th Street, Atlanta, Georgia, Cleveland, Ohio, Euclid Avenue. These places, you understand, our people can, and something that the youth can get involved in, because this is showing us some gangster stuff, saying y'all got to get out of here. We taking over, like Malcolm said, control the economics in your community. That's what Malcolm said. That's one of the, control everything in your community. Control the culture, control the economics, control everything, the politics, you understand? So this is something that young brothers and sisters, these aggressive young brothers and sisters, you understand, who have this militant philosophy, this militancy in them, that is something that they can do. And, the love they have for being stand-up brothers and sisters, being strong, can be expressed in that, So that's what's happening, brothers and sisters. We need these soldiers out here with us, and I just want to say again, like I reminded y'all before, that we got a couple of pagan holidays coming up. This Christmas is coming up, Thanksgiving. I told you about the book, The Broken Heart of America. It explains how the Native Americans, you understand, taught these people how to get along, in this new country. Example showed them how to organize the fur trade. What did they do, brother? How'd they pay them back? How'd they show their thanks?
They gave them smallpox.
And they show their thanks by murdering between 20 and 100 million of them. And now they talking about Thanksgiving. You know,
Right.
like that's some type of religious thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
See,
So,
that's the brainwash, and you know, we can't fall for the con game.
and I think that when we use these holidays as times to come to our family, it's important that we talk about political prisoners and their sacrifices.
Straight ahead.
Because with everything that you set out so fiery and so on point, so sharp, it all boils down to self-determination.
Straight ahead.
Right? And our political prisoners, they advocated for our self-determination.
Yeah.
And because they did that, they met with these consequences, these harsh, unjust sentences, right? Because if a man is sentenced to a number of years in prison and it's supposed to be in a correctional facility, then what's really going on, right? You either trying to correct this person and prepare this person to come back into society, or you want to just torment the person and the people that look up to this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
They tormenting us because they saying, "Oh, this is your heroes. Look what we're gonna do to them."
Right.
Right. And so
Right.
they ain't coming home. They deteriorating, and it should bother us.
Yeah.
And I think that when we spend these time with our family on these holidays, this needs to be at the dinner table where you about to stuff your face with all that food. Talk about political prisoners.
Sit up like a chimpanzee eating.
And then during Kwanzaa, make it your business to set a goal to write a political prisoner. Everybody in the family should have a political prisoner that they're going to write. And this should be done so the political prisoner know that they're not doing their time in vain, that people are thankful and they're thoughtful about them, and they should be remembered. All right, brother, any last remarks before we close out?
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, anybody in Chicago who is familiar with, you know, what's happening with Black growth and development, you know, let them know about this podcast, you know. And I just want to say also, you know, to the message that I want to really leave you with is that literally, like I said from the beginning, literally, not metaphorically, not figuratively, literally, this is a life and death situation. So it is part of this life and death struggle that we must free our political prisoners. And we need y'all to get down with this movement. You know, we need more people, more and more people to get involved in it. It needs to grow. You know, so free them all. What's the call?
Free them all. What's the call?
Free them all.
But you know, we just can't leave you without this very important message from our brother, right? Our brother Killer Mike, because Killer Mike has a voice that should be heard, and we got to make sure that we don't forget.
Have to do this as well, and I have to give the credit to this idea, Miss Kathy Hughes of Radio One. She's like, Michael, it is time that you guys organize a fund to set aside to help people who sacrifice for our freedom. Meaning, every time something happens, I hear this. Why don't the gang bangers jump up and do something for us? Why don't you kill them? You kill each other. And I say to myself, when is the last time you sent money to Assata Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Matulu Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Mumia Abu Jamal or Larry Hoover or Jeff Ford or Leonard Pelter? When is the last time you have made it your business to send money to a revolutionary or a hoodlum that has helped us? And until we start to do that, how can we ask these young men to be warriors? Because if they do it in the name of the hood, at least the hood gonna honor their name always. At least the hood gonna make sure at least their children got something or their mama's house is looked after. As a community, if we're going to ask people to bungee jump for us with no cord, be prepared to take care of them when they get a life sentence. Be prepared to look after their families. See, I don't mind the work getting done, but let's take care of the workers. Let's stop asking more out of people than we would do for ourselves. So what I'd like to see, my dream thing, is to see 1 million people from the culture dedicate $10 a month. That's $10 million a month, $120 million a year toward taking care of civil rights leaders who have worked on our behalf and are elderly now and don't have to take care of themselves, like Rosa Parks, whose rent was paid by the owner of Little Caesars Pizza. We should have had a fund to make sure that she never had to worry about that again in her life. We should have have a fund that makes sure money makes it to Assata Shakur, and Matulu Shakur has legal representation and food, and Leonard Peltier, who has diabetes in jail, can get insulin and taken care of. And until we start doing it, $10 a month is about what you pay on a couple fast food restaurant visits. So if 1 million of us do that for the rest of our life, look at how well we'll be taking care of the people that we're asking to sacrifice on our behalf.
I agree. And recently,
I want to come with a little bit of correction. I had said Euclid Avenue in Detroit. No, Euclid Avenue is in Cleveland. All right. Woodward Avenue is in Detroit. So whatever these avenues are in our hood, we got to take control of the economics, and everything that happens in the hood. In Chicago, 63rd and Halsted, I mentioned that. Compton out in LA, these different black enclaves, these billions and billions of dollars that are spent every day, needs to be to give us power, help us come out of this pandemic, and the leadership that can make these things happen, show enough, you understand, is languishing in prison. Free them all.
Free
What's
them
it
all.
called? Free them all.
Free them all.
Free them all.
Last thing, I would just like to give everybody a look at our brochure of the N.E.P.P.C, because it's very important that people see that.
Yeah.
And this is before we get out of here.
Good.